The last matches before Christmas, and all through the aisles. Not a spirit was stirring, and no one seemed riled. The malaise of deep winter has stricken the big boys, while Chelsea keeps winning and making such noise. Now the sides are all set and chosen each pick today on this episode of Coffee with a Kick. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. We are here with Matchday 17, the last set of matches before Christmas Day. Well, Christmas Day no one plays, but Boxing Day. Now we've got some matches coming up on Boxing Day, obviously. Anything you want to get to before we hop right into it?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited. It's what is it? It's going to be like 3 match weeks in literally 10 or 11 day span. So we're hitting a lot of games here. A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. And starting off with, will it be good stuff? Manchester City goes to Villa Park in Birmingham to face Aston Villa. Man City obviously not doing too well right now. They're in 5th place. They have underperformed recently. Do you have any hope for them in this situation?
Well, last year, Man City went to Aston Villa and lost 1-0. Villa was that team that at home, kind of like Bournemouth this year, they just getting those 1-0, 2-0 victories. But I think both teams are kind of in a similar slump, as we saw in match week 16. Literally, both teams lost the game by giving up 2 goals in the 87th minute or later. City have more to lose in this one.
They do.
And I think that their talent level is a bit higher. I think this one is 3-1 final score, but it stays close until the end. City put it away 3-1, and hopefully get back on track because boy, it's been a cold winter thus far.
Yeah, been rather dreary. I don't think it gets too much better here. I think it goes 1-1. So we could be on the same wavelength for most of this match from how you're playing it out. Have it being 1-1 and then get 2 late goals. You get the 1 and then there's a little bit of momentum. Aston Villa has to open up a little bit to try to get the point back, and you can get an easy second one in there. But City, they're still searching for that certain je ne sais quoi to get back into things. I don't know if Astonvilla is going to allow them to get back into their groove. 1-1 is how I've got it drawn up. And we'll see. It's the early Saturday match. Then to the next one, Brentford hosts Nottingham. Nottingham, who keep on winning. They've got 2 in a row right now. And you know what? Brentford, I think, will be the 3rd in a row for them. Even though, Brentford has had their moments this season and they are at home. They're kind of flipping between wins and losses here recently. And I think that this one will go down as an L, 2-1 for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I have it 2-2. And here's why. Brentford have won their last 5 Premier League home games. And they've netted at least 3 goals in each of those home games. So I think it'll be 2-2. It'll be a little bit more high scoring. But Nottingham's on a roll. Brentford is good at home so far in the last 5. So I think it'll be an exciting draw.
Exciting draw. I mean, I'd be down for that, even if I get it wrong. Then we go to Ipswich Town and Newcastle. Ipswich Town coming off a huge victory against my Wolves. Newcastle also coming off of a big victory, but they are a volatile side and have shown themselves to be. Do you think that Ipswich Town gets any points against Newcastle?
I would like to address the jury. They do not.
Oh.
I think it'll be a better match than perhaps people might think because, again, Ipswich at home has been decent. They just haven't been able to get those results. But Newcastle, after putting in, points after points after points, goals after goals, they've scored 4 goals in several of their last 4 or 5 matches. I think it goes 2-1. I think they're on just a good enough streak that they can eke this one out.
Well, then I will count myself as the contrarian here because I have it going 3-3. A very exciting match for Ipswich Town with good old Delap getting some goals in there for Ipswich Town. And you know what? We'll get Bruno Guimaraes. We'll keep giving him some dues there for Newcastle. And yeah, it'd be very exciting. A very exciting 3-3 draw there. Before moving to West Ham United hosting Brighton Hove Albion. Brighton not doing great right now. They have plummeted. They delayed their inevitable demise about 6 weeks or so, it seems. And now they are winless in their past 4. Do you think that changes at West Ham's place there, at London Stadium?
Well, I'm looking at my pre-match cheat sheet here, and Brighton are winless in their last 10 Premier League away games against London teams.
Well, that's not great.
However, they're unbeaten in all 7 of their Premier League away games against West Ham. So they've drawn 5 times against West Ham. 1-2. But you're kind of right. Brighton have not been amazing. They've been volatile. West Ham also not been amazing, especially against Brighton. They seem to draw a lot. I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going to go with the stats. I'm going to go 2-2 draw because neither of these teams, you could pick one out of the hat. Like they're both the same. I'm not sure who you could actually choose to win.
You
Depends
don't trust
on the
either
week.
of them
So
to go through here.
Going with the draw.
Yeah, it's probably the better move, but I'm gonna go with them birds. I'm gonna go with BHA Brighton Hove Albion 4-1. Actually, is how I'm taking this Brighton.
Not 3-1.
Not 3-1. Not 3-1. This isn't last year. They're gonna go 4-1. But they do. If they score, they also concede, and if they concede, they also score. Brighton does not usually have any blank spots on their score sheet. But I think that they take it a full 4-1. I don't know who's going to come through for them exactly. There's a couple options. You always got Matoma. I think he's not hurt right now, right? Yeah, I don't think so. We'll say he gets a goal and an assist. And then here's this next one here. I've got a upset pick. Upset alert. Crystal Palace takes out Arsenal 2-0. That's what I've got here. I mean, if Arsenal can't score against Everton, Crystal Palace, I think, has got a shot. And they're at Crystal.
Interesting one about this match is on Wednesday the 18th, both Arsenal and Crystal Palace played in the Carabao Cup.
Oh.
And Arsenal, thanks to a Gabriel Jesus hat trick, beats Crystal Palace 3-2. Mateta opened the scoring and Kedia closed it in the 85th minute. A little too late, though. I'm right there with you. I think it'll be 1-0, though, because I think they'll have just played each other. Crystal Palace will be hard done by to have lost to them only 3 days prior. And, you know, whenever you play teams like that successive, you can kind of like start to strategize, move things around. So I think they'll strategize well and they'll end up winning 1-0 because Arsenal in the Premier League, if City weren't playing as bad as they were, Arsenal would have the spotlight on them because they have not been playing well either.
Yeah.
But City have just been playing so bad that everyone is forgiving their form. So 1-0, Crystal Palace takes it. Yeah.
Well, we agree on that one at least, but not exactly because we can't exactly agree because then we'll definitely get it wrong. Now, I hope. What do you have for this next one? Chelsea going to Everton.
Ooh, you know, I want to feel inspired by Everton's draw, and I think I'm going to. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Wow.
I think Everton gets another draw, and Chelsea suffer a little bit of a setback in their title charge.
That's bold. I do not agree. I think Chelsea keeps on hanging on there, 2-0. I think that Everton, they have a good defense. They've shown that now, but they still are not scoring. It's the same thing. I mean, it goes back to last season. Like we talked about it in the preview for this whole season. Is that Everton had one major issue and they did not do anything to fix it. And it was goals last season. It's goals this season, and you know it's hard to win when you can't score. In fact, it may even be impossible. I've heard that. I can't confirm it, but I'm pretty sure it tracks in my book. So Everton 0 to Chelsea 2 for Chelsea to maybe go top of the table. I don't know. We haven't gotten to the last match here for Liverpool. That's where they're the last one to pick for today. Then we move to one that's probably, I think this may be the most lopsided of the matches that we're covering this week. As far as odds are concerned, yeah, I would say so. Because it is Southampton. And basically everybody should be beating Southampton. So Fulham takes on Southampton at home. I've got it as a pretty tidy, if not a little bit boring, 1-0 victory for Fulham. I think they can take care of Southampton fine. And probably will end up getting more than one. But Fulham doesn't score in heaps and bunches, They just kind of do what they need to.
My pre-match note here is that we've been joking how Southampton isn't as bad as Sheffield. But genuinely, that's only because they haven't been giving up as many goals. But they're actually on the joint second lowest point of any side at Christmas. They're level with Sunderland from 05-06. And only Sheffield from 2021 had fewer. So Sheffield last year at this time actually had more points than Southampton, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. Southampton, you got to figure something else out. It won't be today. I think it'll be 3-1. Fulham have scored in every single Premier League match except their opening match. And I don't see that slowing down. And Southampton, they're just not organized. They're young. So they're going to leak goals. But I think they get one, at least.
They can hang that for Christmas. Put that in your stocking. That's very aggressive. And then we go to one that I'm obviously not looking forward to. Leicester City hosts my Wolves. I'll just say quick. I have it 2-2, a point. I think that's all that we're gonna get. I don't know what you think, but it'll probably be 2 set pieces as well. We don't have an interim manager. A bit in chaos. A point will be fine at this point in time.
Yeah, well, I was going to go 2-2 as well, but I'm going to change mine to 1-1 because of this fact. The 6 Premier League meetings that these teams have had, only 7 total goals have ever been scored.
Wow.
So, at least when it's at the King Power Stadium. So, I'm going to go 1-1. Leicester, they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And when we see new managers come in, that very next game is always either, all right, lads, go out there and just play your hearts out, or it's let's just not give up a goal. Let's play as much defense as possible. And they need points, so I think they're going to be a little bit more conservative in this one.
I mean, I should have us losing probably because Aït-Nouri is out on suspension due to a red card.
And potentially Cunha might be out as well.
Potentially Cunha, if the decision comes down before this weekend for whatever happened with him. If that breaks, definitely we're going to lose. But for right now, we've still got Cunha. We'll manage that 2-2 somehow. Then our penultimate pick for the day, Manchester United hosts Bournemouth, coming off of that rip-roaring, late-breaking victory. Manchester United, they take on those cherries. How do you think it goes for Manchester United at Old Trafford?
So this one, I never thought I would be looking at this as Bournemouth being the better team. Bournemouth is in 6th. Man U's in 13th, but only 3 points separate them. Wow. So you can tell how tight that table is. One thing that's interesting, if Man United fail to lose this game, or fail to win this game, it'll be the first time they've been in the bottom half of the table at Christmas since 1989.
Sheesh.
So they really are having the worst season ever. Obviously, new manager. We'll see how it goes. But, I mean, I think Bournemouth have the stuff to do it. They've won their last 2 Premier League away games. They're kind of getting away from the old those lower to mid-half teams. They can win at home, can't win away. But they're in good form. They have won 3 of the last 4. I think they take it 2-1. I think Man U stumble here. But a little bit of the reasoning is also after a Manchester derby, emotions were high. We've seen it already happen this season. So I think that plays into it as well.
My pick is for end-of-season purposes. I do have Manchester United winning 3-1. I need them to keep moving up that table. It's very tight in there. I mean, we're going to do...
with how Nottingham is doing, I've thrown away my
Listen,
beginning of the season table.
We could throw out our best and our worst placers. You know, I'll give up my Chelsea being spot on if I can give up my Nottingham Forest being, you know, plus 14 places from where I expected them to be. I'll do both calculations. You know, take out the outliers. That's how statistics typically work, and then you can do a more balanced view of things. And then to the final one. We've got Tottenham hosting Liverpool. And this one, I think, it's a bit of an oddball, this pick. But I'm going to stick with it. I've got it as a 0-0 draw for Tottenham and Liverpool. It seems unlikely, just at face value. But, you know, we've had a couple 0-0 draws in the past couple weeks. And this is going to be my one for this one.
It would be due because Tottenham have only kept one clean sheet in their last 23 Premier League home games. So a clean sheet is due based on
that's how it works. That's how it
the
works.
swing of things. I do think Tottenham's kind of on a roll. I think they have – the only issue with this match is both teams played midweek. Tottenham actually played on Thursday. Liverpool played on Wednesday. That extra day will actually help Liverpool. I'm not sure, but Liverpool we've seen, and we talked about in the recap of Matchday 16, you kind of have a team that's slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Besides City, them beating City 2-0, the other three games they've had to come back against teams that are in the bottom half of the table. And I'm talking Southampton in one of those. Mm-hmm. I think Tottenham win it 3-2. I think there's lots of goals. Liverpool make it interesting late, but Tottenham, they've been a first half flurry team.
Yeah.
I think they get 3 goals in the first half, and they just ride out their defense till the end for the win.
Yeah, you could definitely see that going on. But we'll have to see this weekend. That brings us to the end of our Match Day 17 picks. Anything you want to let everyone know about before we get out of here?
I am appreciative of this little ESPN ad that popped up on my... sort of like a suggested article that popped up on my screen here, and it says, ranking the reasons behind Arsenal's Premier League slump. So maybe they're starting to talk about Arsenal a little bit more. But, I mean, like I said, I'm pumped for 3 match days within, 11 days. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we do want you to make sure and subscribe and like this video and go to the Substack and do all of that. And until we come back on the other side, why don't you go ahead and grab your coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on that other side.